What if I told you that a lack of focus doesn't just make life harder? What if it slowly rewires your brain, your habits, and your entire future? We don't notice it happening. It starts small. A quick scroll here, a notification there. But over the years, this focus deficit can quietly destroy your potential. Today, I'm exposing the real long-term effects of living in a distracted world and why protecting your attention has become a matter of survival. Stay with me. First, let's talk about mental fatigue and burnout. When your mind is constantly switching between apps, thoughts, tasks, and notifications, your brain enters a state of continuous energy drain. It's like leaving every light on in your house 24/7. At first, you think you're just tired. You blame it on a long day or a bad night's sleep, but soon you realize it's something more. You can't think clearly. You have zero motivation, even for things you used to love. Everything feels overwhelming, and you wake up feeling mentally exhausted before the day even begins. This isn't just about being distracted, it's about burning out your brain's processing power. Your mind is so busy juggling that it never gets a chance to rest and recharge, leading to a constant, draining state of mental exhaustion. Next, let's talk about memory problems. Here's a truth most people don't realize. You cannot remember what you never fully paid attention to. Memory isn't about storage. It's about encoding information in the first place. When your focus is shattered into a million tiny pieces, your brain can't properly encode new information. Conversations don't stick. You read a page in a book and have no idea what it said. You forget appointments you just made. Your short-term memory feels like it's failing you. This leaves you feeling frustrated, sometimes even embarrassed, and you start to doubt your own mind. But here's the key. It's not memory loss, it's attention loss. Your brain's hardware is fine. It's the software of your focus that's malfunctioning, preventing memories from ever being formed. A distracted mind is an anxious mind. This is the third major consequence. Your brain gets overstimulated from the constant barrage of fast content, the endless switching between tasks, the never-ending stream of notifications, and the weight of too many responsibilities all at once. It's like trying to listen to 100 different radio stations at the same time. Over time, this chronic overstimulation creates a baseline of anxiety. You feel a constant restlessness, like you can't sit still. Your thoughts race, making it impossible to relax. You feel perpetually on edge, waiting for the next ping or interruption. You're not broken, and you're not inherently an anxious person. Your mind is simply overloaded, and it's responding the only way it knows how, with a fight-or-flight signal that never turns off. When focus collapses, so does your productivity. This is where the consequences become very tangible. You start leaving tasks half done, jumping from one thing to another without finishing anything. You find yourself taking 2 hours to do a simple 10-minute job because you keep getting sidetracked. The feeling of being overwhelmed becomes your new normal. You constantly feel like you're falling behind on your goals, always playing catch-up instead of getting ahead. This creates a vicious cycle of guilt, pressure, and frustration. You feel like you're working harder than ever, spinning your wheels, but you're achieving less and less. The problem isn't your work ethic. It's that your mental energy is being scattered in a dozen different directions instead of being channeled into one. Now, let's talk about the damage to your self-confidence. Long-term focus deficit makes you question yourself. You start to internalize the struggle, thinking, why can't I just concentrate? You look around and it feels like everyone else is doing just fine, which makes you wonder, what's wrong with me? The truth is, it's the modern environment, not you. But the damage to your confidence becomes very real. You start to doubt your own abilities. You stop trusting yourself to follow through on commitments or learn new things. You feel like you're failing, even when you're trying your best. This internal narrative of inadequacy can bleed into every area of your life, affecting your career, your relationships, and your fundamental sense of self-worth. A distracted brain also becomes a reactive brain. In the long run, a lack of focus can lead to emotional instability. Think about it. When your mind is constantly overstressed and fatigued, your emotional resilience plummets. This results in increased irritability over things that wouldn't normally bother you. You might experience sudden mood swings, going from fine to frustrated in a matter of seconds. You find yourself becoming impatient with others and frustrated with small inconveniences. Your emotions become fragile, not because of some personal weakness, but because your mental and emotional reserves are completely depleted. Your brain is running on empty, and it simply doesn't have the capacity to regulate emotions effectively anymore. This next one is dangerous, an addiction to quick rewards. Your brain, through constant exposure to short videos, quick notifications, and fast gratification, becomes trained to crave instant dopamine hits. It rewires your reward circuitry. This conditioning makes discipline feel incredibly difficult. Long-term goals, which require sustained effort for a delayed reward, start to feel boring and unappealing. Deep work, the kind of focused concentration needed for meaningful progress, feels physically painful. You end up stuck in a destructive loop of quick pleasure, long-term regret. You choose the easy, distracting thing now, only to feel dissatisfied and further behind later. This cycle weakens your willpower and makes it nearly impossible to build momentum toward what truly matters. Naturally, this all leads to relationship strain. When you can't focus, your connections with others suffer. You might be in a conversation, but you're not listening fully. Your mind is elsewhere. You forget important details your partner or friend shared with you. You find yourself zoning out in the middle of a story, and the person speaking to you can feel it. You seem disconnected, distant, and unavailable. Your loved ones notice this. Over time, it creates misunderstandings, conflict, and a growing emotional distance. They might feel like they're not important enough to hold your attention. Focus is a form of connection. It's how we show people we value them. And without it, our most important relationships can slowly wither away. Ultimately, a chronic lack of focus leads to a loss of purpose. Focus is what shapes our direction in life. It's the compass that guides our actions toward a meaningful destination. Without it, life feels blurry and undefined. Long-term distraction creates a profound lack of drive. You feel stuck, adrift in a sea of possibilities, but with no clear direction. There's no clarity on what you want, no progress toward your goals, and a slow fading of your passions. Your big dreams and aspirations fade into the background because your daily attention is constantly being hijacked by the trivial and the immediate. This is how people end up drifting through life instead of consciously building a life they love. Finally, we arrive at the deepest and most serious impact, a higher risk of depression. Think about how all these effects compound. Long-term distraction leads to poor sleep, chronic emotional overload, constant mental fatigue, low self-esteem, and a persistent feeling of dissatisfaction with your life. This toxic combination creates a fertile ground for depression. It's not because you're weak or flawed, it's because your mind and body have been stretched past their biological limits for too long. The constant state of stress, unfulfillment, and disconnection can wear down your mental health, making you more vulnerable to clinical depression. So here's the hard truth. A focus deficit doesn't just ruin your day, it ruins your direction, your habits, your relationships, your potential, and your peace of mind. But here is the hope. The brain is neuroplastic. It can be rewired. Focus can be rebuilt. Your life can absolutely change. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to rebuild your focus and reclaim your mind step by step, with practical strategies you can start using today. Because once you take back your attention, you take back your life. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching.